And welcome back to the Stan Simpson Show, here with our congressional dignitary, John Larson, continuing our conversation, the debt issue. I want to just clean it up. So there are places to cut. You're saying that if you want to really control spending, there are some of the subsidies here that we should cut first, because you see America's already spent this money, so therefore it needs to be paid. Is that a matter of
it's a matter of, and the President framed this issue very well today. He said, this is a matter of the United States defaulting. So we've already purchased with our credit card all of these items. And so now it would be like receiving the bill and saying, yeah, but I really don't want to pay for those things. Now, so I think, first and foremost, because of the any economist that's come before the Ways and Means Committee, and we had the lead economist for United Technologies, and he said this would be a global disaster, and the sooner the United States acts to raise the debt ceiling, which says simply this, that we are going to pay our debts. We will not default on the loans that the United States has made, on the credit that we have extended. We're going to pay them off.
Gas prices, something that folks don't want to pay.
Exactly.
Folks are feeling gouged.
They are.
Okay, well, then how do we stop it?
Because we've got to end the speculation down there. And what's happened is the speculation on Wall Street, gas should be about $2.50. We had Gene Guilford, who came down and testified. We did a press conference about 3 weeks ago on this, Stan. This is an outrage. And in Washington, we have the Republicans trying to block the reforms in the Dodd-Frank bill that would go after these speculators, that would cause people to create position limits so they couldn't speculate both on the price going up and down. Wall Street makes money, you pay for it, at the gas pump.
But isn't the Federal Trade Commission doing an investigation on this?
The CFTC has been cut under the budget by 40%. They're calling for even greater. So they're trying to take the cops off the beat in terms of overseeing what happens primarily in the over-the-counter market and in speculation as well. We had Bill Brodsky from the Chicago Board Options Exchange in last week. He says the same thing, get out there, get tough on the speculators, et cetera. That's what you need to do.
But you agree we're being gouged. There
is no question about the fact that we're being gouged. We're being gouged because of over-speculation. And, oh, by the way, even the oil companies have come forward, as well as Goldman Sachs, and said you can account for at least 20% of the increase. Now, Rosa DeLauro, myself, Chris Murphy, Joe Courtney, we've all introduced legislation on that to deal with the speculation, but we can't make an awful lot of headway in this existing Congress.
Okay, quickly, why can't the president use the weight of his office to say, listen, guys, this is wrong, and we're going to crack down some way on this?
He has used that, and he's trying to get them, in their budget, they cut the CFTC by 40%. That's taking away the very people in enforcement and regulation that we need to have. Also, you saw what he did with the release of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, because that floods the market and at least allows for stability to take place. But even with that stability, we still have to go after the speculators. Those are the people that are gouging us at the pump.
A lot of speculation now with the politics. GOP, the folks there are lining up. Mitt Romney, you have Michelle Bachmann, Newt Gingrich. They're, lining up now and queuing up. Who scares you, truthfully? Who concerns you when you sit back again at the congressional bar for congressional drink? Who scares you out there?
Well, what scares me is the economy, because I think ultimately that's what the president is going to be running against.
Who's the best matchup of Mitt Romney, Newt Gingrich, Bachmann, Pawlenty? Who do you think, honestly, would be an intriguing matchup?
Well, actually, I think the best Republican out there that would be probably the best matchup for President Bush would be for President Obama would be Jeb Bush.
Oh, really, brother? Why?
I do. Well, I just think that he's a very credible candidate. I don't think the Republican field to date, I guess you would have to, and if you look at the polls, you'd have to give Romney certainly the edge, but don't discount this Michelle Bachmann, and I don't think we've seen the end of the Republican field yet either. They seem to come in and then implode. I'm sorry that the Donald still isn't around. But
when you say don't discount Bachmann, do you think she could be a real credible candidate, or does she hurt the other?
Given her ideological bent, and given the way the primary system lines up in Iowa, where she will probably do very well, and in South Carolina after New Hampshire, things could go well for her, et cetera. She does have a populist appeal that's similar to that of Palin. I would not I would not take her for granted.
In 30 seconds, two issues. One, Governor Malloy, quickly how he's doing, and two, you had the Congressional Black Caucus here to celebrate the 200th birthday of Harriet Beecher Stowe. So quickly hitting each of those, Dan Malloy, the whole union deal imploded on him.
Dan Malloy is leading the way that you have to lead as a governor. He recognizes that you're going to have to make cuts, that you're going to have tax increases, but you've got to grow this economy. He's been down in Washington more in his first 6 months in office, working hand in glove with us to try to move this economy forward. The economy is going to tick up. There is good news. I'm optimistic about Connecticut in manufacturing, especially in the high-tech areas, but most importantly, aerospace. Healthcare is going to be important. We're getting investments that are coming in there. High-speed rail, all bode well for us.
5 seconds. The CBC in Connecticut for the Beecher Stowe.
Fantastic.
Big event you had at the Bushel.
They did such an outstanding job. What a great way to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Harriet Beecher Stowe and her call for justice. And what will you do? Calling upon people to do that. And to have members of the Congressional Black Caucus here, I wish all of America could see them at work and their performance at the Bushel. But the thing, they were inspired by their trip here to talk more openly about closing the gap that still exists economically and medically and in terms of social justice for people of color.
We're going to close the gap here with the interview. Always good having you on. We're here with Congressman John Larson. Enjoyed the conversation. We'll have you back again, absolutely. When we come back, folks, we're joined by current Capitol Bureau Chief Chris Keating and Union spokesman Matt O'Connor. Will talk about the ramifications of potential massive job cuts in the state. Don't even think about going away.